My name is Nancy Cushen White, and currently I'm on the clinical faculty at UCSF in Pediatrics Division of Adolescent and Young Adult Medicine. But I started out as a classroom teacher, and Margaret's influence was in any lecture that anybody gave about dyslexia, or if they were calling it specific language disability, whatever they were talking about. She would always be a really big part of that history. And it was many years before I met her, although I did pretty soon after getting involved, become a member of IDA, which was then the Orton Society, and then the Orton Dyslexia Society, and then, well, I'm sure that I became aware of her from hearing her name mentioned when I took the Slingerland course. I know I'd never heard of her before that, and in talking about the history of um, the Orton Dyslexia Society, when talking about just the creation of that, which was mostly neurologists at the very beginning, and Dr. Leon Witzel, who was at UC. That's kind of ironic that I ended up there, but he didn't have anything to do with that exactly. But he would give the lecture on neurology, he and Dr. Wilbur Madison through the years, and they continued to do that even when I became the director of the program, and for decades afterward, they were always so generous with their time, and they would always mention her. And then once I was a member of the Orton Society, then the annals, and there would be, and Margaret was the editor for many years. And so and then when she spoke, I didn't always get to go to the sessions where she spoke, but I certainly took that opportunity when I could. So it was a gradual, just her name coming up with others, but her name kept coming up. And then later, when I was involved in other aspects of Orton work, the IDA work, we'll call it IDA just because it's easier than going back and forth. So there were so many people who actually had worked with her. And one of the traits that seems to be consistent among many of these leaders is being outspoken, which one had to be. In fact, Beth Slingerland would say how critical Anna Gillingham was of what she did. And then often they'd get to this point of agreement. She said, I was just giving you practice because you're going to have a lot of trouble convincing people that what we're doing is the right thing. And although I didn't have that same um, contact with Margaret Rawson, I think that she learned that from um, Anna and Bessie and those that she worked with. And she believed what she believed, and she didn't let people keep her from doing it, even if they disagreed with her. That doesn't mean she didn't listen and learn from what they had to say. And she seemed to be a little softer with her. And I do know that personally because of my rejection letter. I mean, I wasn't happy to get it, but I mean, I couldn't really complain. And she wasn't telling me to give up. She was saying, keep going. You might actually discover something. But in the meantime, move on. So I did, but I never forgot that. And that, it was to me a bit ironic that I was given that award because of that. But it was my only personal experience with her. But I know that so many people that I learned from were influenced by her. Um, and the ones who were, incredibly loyal. And she was always, it seems to me, from what I know secondhand, that she was always open to what people had to say. She wasn't going to just take it without checking it out, but it didn't mean that she changed what she had come to know to be.